All right, welcome back. We're going to begin with this derivative here. We have the derivative of the square root of x times tangent x. Now, for most of these problems, I'm going to have the product rule down here at the bottom so that you can reference it as we go through these examples. And so in this derivative, the first thing we want to do is to identify what our two functions are that are being multiplied together. That's why we're even using the product rule to begin with. It's because we have two functions that are being multiplied together. So in this case, our first function, f of x, would be the square root of x, and our second function, g of x, would be tangent x. And so this derivative is going to be equal to the derivative of this first function here. Now, what we typically do when we see the square root of x is we kind of like to rewrite our function. So I could say that this is equal to the derivative of x to the 1/2 power times tangent x, and that would maybe make it a little easier for you to visualize how we're going to take the power rule of this first function. So let's do that. We first want to take the derivative of our first function. So the derivative of x to the 1/2 power is going to be 1/2 x to the 1/2 minus 1 power, and then that's going to be multiplied by our original second function, which in this case is tangent x. So we'll write tangent x. And then we'll add this to our original first function, so that's going to be x to the 1/2 power times the derivative of our second function. And so that would be the derivative of tangent x, which if you remember your trig rules for derivatives is going to be secant squared x. So now if we simplify, we can quickly find our final answer. So we'll have that this is equal to 1/2 x to the negative 1/2 power times tangent x, plus we can change this to the square root of x while we're at it. So we'll have the square root of x times secant squared x. And then one more simplification, we can move this negative exponent into the denominator and move our tangent x to the top. And we will have that this derivative is equal to tangent x over 2 times x to the 1/2 power, or the square root of x, plus the square root of x times secant squared x. And that would be our derivative of the product of the square root of x and tangent x. Next, we have the function y equals the quantity 10x to the 5th power minus 3x times the quantity 2x squared plus 1. And we want to know the derivative, or dy dx, for this function. And once again, our power rule that we're going to be using is located here at the bottom. So in this scenario, our two functions are going to be this quantity and this quantity. So this would be our f of x, and this one would be our g of x. So if we want to take the derivative, or dy dx, this is going to be equal to the derivative of our first function times the original second function. At least that's going to be our first term. So we're going to take the derivative of 10x to the 5th power minus 3x, and that's going to be equal to 10, and then we're going to use our power rule here for x to the 5th power. So we're going to have times 5 times x to the 4th power, because 5 minus 1 would be 4. And then the derivative of negative 3x is going to be negative 3. So that would be the derivative of our first function, and now we want to multiply it by our original second function, which is going to be 2x squared plus 1. Then we'll add this to the original first function, right, f of x. So we're going to have 10x to the 5th power minus 3x multiplied by the derivative of our second function, which would be the derivative of 2x squared plus 1, which is going to be just 4x, because our power 2 multiplied by 2 will be 4, and then we subtract 1 from our power to be just left with a power of 1. And then the derivative of our 1 term is just going to be 0, so we don't need to write that part. So now we could go through and simplify this and gather all our like terms, but that's more of an algebra concept, so I'm not going to quite take the time to do that here. But if you want to check your work, this is actually equal to 140 x to the 6th power plus 50 x to the 4th minus 18x squared minus 3. So if you want to go through and distribute and try to get like terms together, this would be your answer if you like to check that. But either one of these answers would be acceptable if you were asked to find a derivative of this function. Next, let's look at the derivative of the function g of t for t times sine t minus t squared times cosine t. And we want to find a derivative, or g prime of t, for this function. So in this case, we have two product rules going on, right? We have t times sine t, and then we're subtracting another product rule, t squared times cosine t. So we're going to be doing the product rule twice for this function. So let's start with our first term here, or our first product rule, and then we'll move on to our second one. But we just want to do one at a time here. So g prime of t is going to be equal to the derivative of our first function, which is going to be t, which would just be 1. The derivative of a variable to the first power is 1, times the original second function, which would be sine t. And then we're going to add the original first function, which is t, times the derivative of our second function, sine t, which is going to be cosine t, right? The derivative of sine is cosine. So then we're going to subtract our second product rule here. So I'm going to put these in parentheses so we don't forget to distribute that negative to each part of our product rule. So now we're going to go through this process again. This was our first product rule for this term, and now we're going to have another product rule for this term. So in this case, our first function is t squared, and our second function is cosine t. So let's go through our product rule again. We're going to start by taking the derivative of our first function, which is t squared. So we're going to have 2t times the original second function, which is cosine t, plus the original first function, which is going to be t squared. F of x, it would be t squared in this case. So we will have t squared times the derivative of our second function, cosine t. So that's going to be equal to negative sine t, because the derivative of cosine is negative sine. So now we can go through and simplify this a little bit to get a bit of a nicer answer. So we'll have that this is equal to sine t plus t times cosine t minus the quantity 2t cosine t, and then we'll bring this negative out to the front. So we will have minus t squared sine t. And then we can distribute this negative into each term of this quantity, and we'll have that this is equal to sine t plus t times cosine t minus 2t cosine t plus, because these two negatives will become positive, t squared sine t. And now actually we can simplify this one more time, because these two terms are like terms. We have positive t cosine t and negative 2t cosine t, and that will just become negative t cosine t. So then finally, our answer will be sine t minus t cosine t plus t squared sine t. And that is the derivative of our function in this case. So even though we had two different product rules, we could still take the derivative of them. We just had to do each one separately and then worry about simplifying later, which is what we did here. Next, we want to know the derivative of the square root of x times the quantity x squared plus 3, and then we want to evaluate that derivative at the value of x equals 9. So let's first take the derivative of our function, and then we'll move on to the evaluation after that. So a quick note, we can rewrite the square root of x to be x to the 1/2 power so that we can more easily see how to use our power rule for that derivative. So I'll quickly redefine our function here as f of x equals x to the 1/2 power times x squared plus 3. So now let's go ahead and take our derivative. We'll have that f prime of x is going to be equal to the derivative of our first function, x to the 1/2 power, and it's going to be multiplied by our second function, which is x squared plus 3. So we'll have the derivative of x to the 1/2 power, or the square root of x, and that will be 1/2 times x to the negative 1/2 power, right? We're going to have 1/2 minus 1, which would be negative 1/2, times x squared plus 3. And then we'll add our second term, which is going to be the original first function, which I'm just going to keep as the square root of x, times the derivative of our second function. So that's going to be 2x, because the derivative of x squared is 2x, and the derivative of 3 is 0 because it's a constant. So we just forget about that 0, and we can just get 2x. So now, normally, if we were just looking for the derivative, I would say, let's simplify this a little bit. But the only thing I'm going to do before we plug in our value of 9, because that's really what we want here, we just want the value of our derivative at x equals 9, is I'm just going to move this negative exponent to the denominator, and then we'll just evaluate it from there. We don't really need to simplify in this case, because we're just looking for the value of the derivative at a certain value of x. So this is going to be equal to 1 over 2 times the square root of x, times x squared plus 3 plus the square root of x times 2x. So now if we plug in 9 into our derivative, we are going to have f prime of 9 is equal to 1 over 2 times the square root of 9 times 9 squared plus 3. And I'm going to do the second term down here. I'm running out of space a little bit. This is going to be added to the square root of 9 times 2 times 9. And so then if we were to simplify this a little bit, right, we would be left with 14 plus 54, and that's going to be equal to 68. So hopefully you can go through and evaluate this yourself and get the same answer. But 68 is going to be the answer in this case when we take our derivative using the product rule and then we plug in our value of 9 that we are interested in. So our next one's a little bit different. This is something that we haven't really seen before. What if we were given these values, right, where f of 2 is equal to 3, f prime of 2 is equal to -5, g of 2 is equal to -1, and g prime of 2 is equal to 9. What if we were given these values and then asked to find the product rule or the derivative of these two functions multiplied together at that value of 2, right? We don't even know what the functions are in this case. We just know their evaluations at the value of 2. Well, it's going to be the same process. If I get rid of this question mark, we can go through our product rule and find this answer pretty easily. So we know that the derivative of a function times another function is going to be equal to this process here. And it looks like we have f prime of x, we have g of x, we have f of x, and we have g prime of x. So we can just take these numbers and plug them into this rule, and we'll be able to find our answer here, as long as these values of x that these functions are being evaluated at matches up, which in this case it does. They're all evaluated at 2. So this would be equal to our derivative of f of x, which is going to be -5, times the original function g of x, which we have is -1, plus f of x, which is going to be 3, times the derivative of g of x, which is 9. And then we just simplify this. We're going to have -5 times -1, which is just +5, plus 3 times 9, which is 27. And so that's going to be equal to 5 plus 27, which is equal to 32. And so this looked a little confusing at first, but really it's just another application of our product rule in a different scenario that you might come across on a homework problem or test problem. All right, so for our next derivative, we're going to be looking at the function tangent x times cotangent x, and again, we want to know that derivative. Now, before we even start with our product rule, I do see that we have two functions being multiplied together, tangent x and cotangent x, but you should always be careful here, because sometimes you might end up doing more work than you really need to do, especially with your trig functions. What do we know about the tangent function and the cotangent function? Well, we know that we can rewrite tangent to be equal to sine x divided by cosine x, and we know that the cotangent x, which is what we're multiplying by, is equal to cosine x over sine x. So each of these terms are going to cancel, right? And this is actually just a function equal to 1. Tangent and cotangent are going to cancel each other out, and so our function is really just equal to 1, and so then the derivative f prime of x is a derivative of 1, which is a constant, so then the derivative would just be 0. So sometimes you don't actually have to do as much work as you think you might have to do. So if you see some trig functions that are related, always be sure to think about what would happen if you were to replace them with some of their identities to see if there would be any canceling to make a more simple function. So this is something to keep in mind as you go through more examples in the future. All right, next we're going to look at y equals x squared times secant x times cosecant x, and we want to know the derivative of that. And this goes back to our lesson, which if you haven't watched it, I do recommend that you do watch it, where we talked about how the product rule can be expanded to multiplication or the product of more than just two functions. In this case, 3 functions. We have x squared, secant x, and cosecant x. And right down here, you'll see our formula changed. We have 3 functions, f of x, g of x, and h of x, and then we have our new formula here. And so this one is pretty similar to the other one, except we have a third term where now we're dealing with the derivative of that third function. And so let's go through the derivative of these 3 functions multiplied together. And our f of x would be x squared, our g of x would be secant x, and our h of x would be cosecant x. So in this case, y prime is going to be equal to the derivative of our first function, which would be 2x. The derivative of x squared is 2x times g of x and h of x. So we're going to have secant x and cosecant x. Then we're going to add this to our original function, f of x, x squared, times the derivative of g, or our second function, which would be secant x in this case. And the derivative of secant x is secant x tangent x. So we'll have secant x tangent x, and then we'll just multiply by our original third function, which is cosecant x. And then we'll add our third term, which is going to be the first 2 original functions. So we're going to have x squared secant x times the derivative of our third function, which is going to be negative cosecant x cotangent x. Right, the derivative of cosecant x is negative cosecant x cotangent x. So now we can go through and simplify this, but in order to save some time, since our primary focus here is on the product rule, I'm going to write out the step, but skip over going through the work so that you could pause the video and view it if you're interested in seeing how we get to our final simplification. But the main idea is that we are just going to be using our trigonometric identities, such as tangent x equals sine divided by cosine. So this will be equal to 2x secant x cosecant x plus x squared multiplied by secant squared x, and then minus x squared times cosecant squared x. And that would be our answer to this derivative. So hopefully you were able to follow that. If you have any questions, do leave them in the comments. But this is how you go about taking the derivative of three functions multiplied together. It can be a little trickier when we have trig functions involved, but there's just a little bit of simplifying that you can do to get a nice answer. And that's not to say that this answer up here is not valid. You could definitely leave it here, but it's going to be nicer if you have to plug a value into your derivative, if you can get it in a little bit of a nicer form. Finally, let's look at the derivative of the quantity x squared minus 9 squared. Now this one looks a little tricky. In fact, we could do this a lot faster with a rule we haven't learned yet, but I want to show you that you can take the derivative of a quantity like this with the product rule. Because when you have a quantity squared, you just have that quantity multiplied by itself. So we could rewrite this to be the derivative of x squared minus 9 times x squared minus 9. Now you'll notice we don't have our rule at the bottom. That's because I wanted to try to do this one without having our reference nearby. Let's try and do this one by just remembering what the product rule is, because eventually you're going to want to do that. You're going to want to just be able to do it without having to reference the actual rule. And so the derivative here is going to be the derivative of our first function times the second function. So we're going to have 2x times x squared minus 9, right? The derivative of x squared is 2x, and this negative 9 will just be 0 when we take the derivative of it. And then we can add it to the original first function times the derivative of the second function, which is the same thing, right? These are the same function. Even though we have two functions here, they are the same thing. So really it's going to be just equal to 2x times x squared minus 9. Again, it's the same thing. So then we can simplify and add our like terms here and have 4x times x squared minus 9. And so that would be the answer to the derivative of this function using the product rule. All right, and so that's all I have for this examples video. If you have any questions, like I said earlier, please leave them in the comments. But if you don't have any questions, that's all I have for now. So I will see you next time.